serving the Republic of the Philippines for more than 75 years. Ito po ang Presidential Broadcast Service.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Malacañang on Tuesday said that Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has approved a 10-year plan to improve the country's maritime industry. Under Executive Order or EO number 55, signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin on February 8th on behalf of the President, states that the Maritime Industry Development Plan or MIDP 2028 needed to be adopted to fully realize the country's potential as a maritime nation. The chief executive said that the country requires a clearly defined and coordinated roadmap that shall accelerate the integrated development of the Philippine maritime industry. Under EO 55, the Philippine Marina must adopt a system for the implementation of the MIDP by means of modernizing and expanding domestic shipping and widening overseas shipping industry. The MIDP also includes the promotion of the Philippines shipbuilding and repair industry, upskilling of the maritime workforce, and promoting environmentally sound maritime practices. President Marcos directed all government agencies to align their policies with the new EO to ensure its implementation.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Monday announced that Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has appointed Maria Lourdes Doria Velarde as acting member of the Board of Trustees of the Home Development Mutual Fund or Pag-ibig, representing the private employer sector. Doria Velarde replaces Myla Roque, the wife of former presidential spokesman Harry Roque. Doria Velarde served as Duty-Free Philippines Deputy General Manager for Administration. She was also a member of the Board of Trustees of Nayon Filipino Foundation and Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation or IBC 13. She is also a content creator and culinary arts expert. The Pag-ibig Fund was created on June 11, 1978 by virtue of Presidential Decree No. 1530 to generate savings and provide housing for Filipino workers.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP on Monday confirmed the neutralization of the Amir of the Dawla Islamiyah Maute Group or DIMG, Gaddafi Membaza, alias Engineer, the brain behind the bombing of the Mindanao State University or MSU in Marawi City on December 3, 2023. According to AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Cerces Trinidad, this is based on testimony of a high-value member of the DIMG, alias Katab, who surrendered on Sunday at the 2nd Mechanized Brigade of the Philippine Army. Trinidad said the testimony of alias Katab proved that the initial information that Mimbasa Mimbesa, is among those that died during the operation of the 103rd Brigade of the Philippine Army from the 25th to the 26th of January in Lanao del Sur Province. AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner Jr. congratulated the troops of the 103rd Brigade, headed by Brigadier General Yegor Ray Barroquillo Jr. on their successful operation against those responsible for the MSU bombing, and at the same time called on the remaining members of the group to surrender.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday honored the heroism of 4 soldiers who played a crucial role in the operation of the Philippine Army against the Daula Islamiyah Maute Group or DIMG. To recall, 4 operating troops of the 3rd Scout Ranger Battalion sustained injuries during the operation in Piagapo, Lanao del Sur Province. The government troops were able to successfully neutralize 9 members of the terrorist group, including the suspect of the Mindanao State University bombing. In his visit to the Army General Hospital in Taguig City, 2 of the injured soldiers were awarded the Gold Cross Medal, while the other 2 were awarded the Military Merit Medal or MMM with a bronze spearhead device. Also present during the awarding were Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner Jr., and Army Chief Lieutenant General Roy Galido.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA on Monday expressed its deepest condolences to the family of former Ambassador Lauro Baja Jr., describing him as an admired diplomat and a devoted public servant. The 86-year-old Baja died of a heart attack on February 8th. His remains are currently at the Bulwagang Apolinario Mabini at the DFA head office in Pasay City. Interment will be at the Manila Memorial Park in Parañaque City on February 16th. Baja served as the country's ambassador to Brazil, Italy, and the United Nations when the Philippines last assumed one of the elected seats at the UN Security Council from 2004 to 2006. He represented the Philippines at diplomatic conferences, including the Rome Conference establishing the International Criminal Court or ICC, and served in senior official capacities in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN and non-aligned movement meetings. Baja was also instrumental in the crafting of the 2002 Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea and the ASEAN Joint Declaration Against Terrorism.
Dateline Malacañang.
A vessel from the Chinese People's Liberation Army, or PLA, watched and followed the last maritime cooperative activity, or MCA, of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, and the United States Indo-Pacific Command, or US Indo-PACOM, in the West Philippine Sea. The third maritime activity of the AFP and the U.S. Indo-PACOM was held on the 9th and 10th of February between BRP Gregorio del Pilar of the Philippine Navy and USS Gabriel Giffords of the U.S. Navy. According to Philippine Navy spokesperson of the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Roy Trinidad, it appeared as if there were 3 ships participating in the activity because of the tailing ship from the PLA Navy. Trinidad said that the vessel from China did not do anything illegal as it just followed the ships from the Philippines and the U.S. until the activity was finished. Commodore Trinidad clarified that the presence of the Chinese vessel in the Philippines Exclusive Economic Zone or EEZ is not illegal because there is freedom of navigation in the high seas for all countries.
Dateline Malacañang.
The number of confirmed people who have died due to a landslide that hit a gold mining village in Davao de Oro province has reached 68. In its latest report Monday, 51 people remain unaccounted for, including minors and local residents. According to Davao de Oro Provincial Disaster Office, Edward Macapili, it's been almost a week since the incident happened and the air is starting to smell offensive. The landslide hit the mountain village of Masara in Davao de Oro province Tuesday evening after weeks of torrential rains. 3 buses, 1 public utility jeepney or PUJ who were waiting for the employees of the gold mining firm, and 55 houses near the incident were covered with mud from the landslide. Around 32 people were injured in the area. Local authorities promised to continue its search and rescue operations to recover all missing victims.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Department of Agriculture or DA Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. has designated former Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources or BFAR Director Asis Perez as Undersecretary for Policy, Planning, and Regulation. The DA Secretary recommended the appointment under Special Order No. 181 dated February 8th. In a news release Monday, the DA said, Perez shall provide policy and regulatory advice to Secretary Chu Laurel as well as policy, planning, and project development support to various DA offices, bureaus, and agencies. Meanwhile, Secretary Chu Laurel also designated Joanne Hagonos Oliva as Officer in Charge or OIC and Director of the Internal Audit Services or IAS, and Christopher Banas as OIC and Executive Director of the DA's Regional Field Office in Region 4. For the 6-year national project under the Philippine Rural Development Project or PRDP, Director for Milo de los Reyes was appointed as Deputy Project Director for Project Support Office in Luzon B and Program Director for the National Corn Program. Other OICs designated were Director for Nicoles Manalo for the Office of Assistant Secretary for Operations and the Office of National Project Director. Assistant Secretary for Regulation, Paz Benavides II, for the Vice Chairmanship of Agricultural Competitiveness Enhancement Fund Program Management Committee. Supervising Agriculturist Lorna Belinda Calda for the Office of the Director of Field Operations Services. Accountant 3 Nelson Vagilidad as Accounting Section Head of the Bureau of Agricultural and Fisheries Engineering Administrative and Finance Division, and Supervising Science Research Specialist Mark Matubang as Data Protection Officer of the Bureau of Agricultural and Fisheries Standards.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines Department of Migrant Workers or DMW on Monday shut down a Makati-based consultancy firm following confirmation that the firm is illegally sending Filipinos to work in Poland factories. DMW Undersecretary Bernard Olalia revealed that the firm disguised Filipino workers by sending them to Poland as part of its global migration training service, but only to be deployed in factories. The office of Bellman Philippines Incorporated in Salcedo Village was padlocked by the agency's Migrant Workers Protection Bureau or MWPB in coordination with the Makati City Police. Investigations conducted by the Migrant Workers Office in Prague or MWO Prague and the MWPB showed that the job consultancy firm partnered with undisclosed Philippine Overseas Employment Administration or POEA registered agencies to send applicants to Poland. The DMW said applicants were asked for all-in payment of at least 165,000 pesos for the processing of employment documents, visas, and referral to foreign partner agencies. The payment, however, excludes airfare. The prospective overseas Filipino worker or OFWs paid an initial fee of 56,000 pesos for the processing of work permits, with the remaining balance to be paid upon its issuance, which may take a year. Undersecretary Olalia said Belmont officers and staff will be charged of illegal recruitment committed by a syndicate, which is punishable by life imprisonment and fines ranging from 2 million to 5 million pesos. Belmont staff will also be included in the DMW's list of persons and establishments with derogatory record, and the agency will be blacklisted from participating in any government overseas recruitment program.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Philippines Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, or CICC, is coordinating with the Japanese government to conduct a thorough investigation on the hoax bomb threats received by several government agencies in the Philippines. In a statement, the CICC said that efforts are now on the way to request the Japanese government to investigate thoroughly and identify the sender. The CICC issued the statement a few hours after at least 6 government agencies and local government units, or LGUs, received bomb threats. Among the agencies that received the bomb threats are the Department of Education or DepEd Division Office in Bataan Province, the local government of Iba in Zambales Province, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR Head Office, Philippine Information Agency or PIA Central Offices, National Housing Authority or NHA along Elliptical Road, and the Commission on Higher Education or CHED in Diliman, all in Quezon City. The CICC said the emails received by the agencies containing the bomb threats apparently originated from Japan. It had a locally registered domain name that also hit multiple government agencies in Seoul, South Korea. The CICC added that no cause for alarm is needed as the email's sender has been previously tagged as a hoax, citing similar threats that also hit several government agencies last year. The CICC, however, clarified that affected government agencies were advised to practice their respective emergency evacuation procedures as part of their preparedness efforts and emergency protocols.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, We would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.